What is going on, everybody? This is Checkup007, and I welcome you guys back to another video. This one is actually going to be me comparing, finally, an actual comparison, kind of like what JC and I did some time back, but we're going to be comparing two Conker's Bad Fur Day cartridges, because a lot of people have been asking me on my live streams lately about if there's a real, if there's a fake or anything, and this right here is going to be the once and for all argument settler, because we have a reproduction and we have the authentic. As you can tell, this one is the one I've had for years and years. Way back in the first video I did of this, where I compared the online one that I got from, I think from the same exact seller actually, and this one. Now, to recap anyone that didn't hear all the backstory on this, I got this cartridge back at a Blockbuster, which happened to be the place where I had my first official job. The exact same Blockbuster, if I'm not mistaken. Went in, I was like 11, 12 years old, something like that. Got this, kept it most of a summer. So the old man did the same thing that he did with my copy of Showdown, and just said, you know what, charge it to the card, we'll buy it, whatever. After renting this like 15 times or so, however many times it was, like we rented it a lot, and I'm probably the fourth or fifth person to ever possess this cartridge after Blockbuster made their initial payments and everything for it. And if there's enough questions out there, I'll do a Q&A video where I can answer all questions that have ever been asked about Blockbuster, including the infamous, is there a back room for blah 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 at a Blockbuster? Short answer, no, there was never one. Anyway, so what we got going on here is I'm going to be dismantling both of these cartridges once again, at least for this Conker one here. And I've got my Galaxy right here because I don't have a proper mount for it, so it's kind of sandwiched in my mic boom, so hopefully I don't damage it. I highly doubt I will, but I've had it rolling this whole time, so it's just going to be a matter of as soon as I do a little finger snap, that's when we'll switch over to this being the main cam and me still being on in the epicenter somewhere, as it were. I'm recording with OBS on the face cam, and I've got the full quality of this camera. I just have it set to facing downward, that way I can actually see what I'm doing on here. To an extent, there's springs covering it, but you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see some of my epic Deadpool shirt, because a lot of people ask me where I get a lot of my shirts too, and Teespring, T-Turtle, Loot Crate, Nerd Block, and a bunch of places like that are where I get a lot of my shirts. And of course I do DragonCon, Chattacon, AWA. I've been thinking about making an appearance there one year, but I haven't done so yet, especially since this one's still so young. And which reminds me, we are joined again today by Kylie, the technician, who is trying to eat her diaper. Kylie, let us get ready with a nice Thanos kind of a snapping sound, which cue in 3, 2, 1, and okay. So now that we're down here and looking, yeah, epic transition. I know, guys, I'm getting so much better. We only need a few tools to do this, so we've got our, I'm going to let you guys guess which one of these is real quick, and congratulations. If you got it right, you got it right. If you didn't, then oh well. So anyway, what we need is I've got my trusty game repair toolkit. I've had this screwdriver set for years. I have other toolkits too. I don't know where I put them all, but this one right here has all the game bits I need. First and foremost, since I know this microphone's recording this properly, and Kylie willing, you can hear the sound differences. And just for reference, we've got the fake one. Excuse me. And then we have the OG. This one is heavier, sounds a lot more packed with stuff. This one feels lighter and is more hollow. So that should give you your first clue which one is real, which one is not, cosmetically speaking. If we look here, we can see the colorization on the OG cartridge is a darker coloration, which we should definitely be good with. And Kylie just rolled her head in egg. That's funny. I'm definitely giving that child a bath later. And there we go. The camera's focusing on the colorization of that. we can see in higher detail the kind of surfacing of the labeling. This one had Blockbuster stuff on it that I peeled off like a moron. I should have just left it alone, but I didn't. But you can see all of that. There we go. And if we go over here, we can see the clearly different colored circuit board and all that kind of stuff. The labeling looks way too good to be this new. It doesn't have that same kind of pop to it that the OG would have. That's the other thing too. Like right here, I can definitely confirm it now for you. That Nintendo seal, quality seal, it's reflective, right? It changes. It changes a lot more in the real world, but this one right here doesn't really do that, as you can see. Trying to figure out where the camera is. There we go. So as you can see, it doesn't really change. Anyway, let's get to taking this thing apart as we need to. To take apart Nintendo 64 cartridges, first of all, we got to turn them on their back. And we need the 6 hashtag, or whatever you want to call that screw bit. It's going to be a reverse T-star screw, basically. It's going to have the hollow end instead of the pointed one like we had in the other one. So not like a T whatever that one was. I almost never use that bit unless we're doing something weird. That one would be basically a photo negative of a T15. So these are T15 screws by this little tool's definition. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on this. I've been meaning to get a little rotor or a little ratcheting tool, but this one does the job superbly well. So let's go ahead and start with taking apart the one that was a pain in the rear end to take apart in the first place, and we'll be good. I'll turn that screen back on. See if I even get lucky enough to get this thing to come apart, because I'm probably gonna have to pry it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pry it. That's another bad sign. Alright, so we're gonna have that just in case I do need any bits out of it, but we're gonna go ahead and pull a just standard old flathead tip out of here so we can pry it. There we go. There we go. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, I just need to get a GoPro. That's what I need. I need a GoPro. JC, I need you to get in the comment section right now and tell me not to spend money on a GoPro. Alright, so that's the first thing that I noticed when we took this thing apart the first time. There was no screws holding that shroud in place, and you're about to see why that bothers me, as you already have seen, rather. Now let's go on to the OG Bad Fur Day, which I think I've taken this apart maybe once, just to see what was in there. Like, I haven't seen the inside of this cart in years, so we'll find out if it looks bad or good. Alright, so, as we can see, reproduction, and we have authentic. Immediate differences. The reproduction looks pristine, duh, and it had some gunk on there. And we know from a live stream I did a while back, because I've been doing most of my live streaming lately on this cart right here, so we know this cartridge works, and it has save data function, which is interesting because I would have thought that it wouldn't have, maybe. So that's actually a kudos to this, because I know this one has a battery in it somewhere. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to using, yeah, we'll use that. We'll use a PH0 Phillips head screw. That's what PH stands for, so standard Phillips head. It'll be fine. So we just go over, get that bite. Move the screws over here. So all these screws that are going down that you can't see, they're right over here. I'm pretty sure you can't see them. No, you can't. All the screws that you can't see are going into this cart right here, which is fine because this one already has 2 and they're kind of just stuck there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it apart. All right, so let's see, we have a P3 here, and we got the rust and everything. I need to put this through some kind of a deactivation agent. As you can see, we have these things dismantled to a degree. Here we have the reproduction cart as we've seen before, and here we have the original N64 cartridge variant. As you can see, right in here, it says 1996 Nintendo, which was the year the system was released. We have NUS-02A-03, which is the serial code basically for this particular cartridge. That would be the ID of the game itself when it launched. So that would be the name of the ROM on this game. We have the different chips that are needed for the game. We can see that there would be a battery mount right in here, and that'd be where our little C-cell battery would go, or whatever we call it. Oh, you drew me a picture, thank you. A little break for a second. Look at this masterpiece my 2-year-old drew. Love it. Taking apart the Authentic, and we've got some colorization on there to indicate that that one is OG. So these chips right here have MX on them. These right here are different. Like, you can tell right away that this one has a lot more stuff crammed into a tinier space. This one right here is a lot more surface mounted, and all of these are like integrated. So yeah, this right here will tell you this one was produced a lot later on in time than this one. And there are dead contacts here naturally. There's 2 of them that I can see for sure, and then there's a few others as well, which is fine because that's what the game needed. And this one right here was the one that got flashed. So I mean, I cannot legitimately say how hard it would be to replicate this perfectly with technology like this, to make this totally convincing and all of that. And you can also see why I haven't been using the Authentic cartridge much, because I'm trying to save the gold contacts until I can actually redo these when I have the equipment necessary, because I'm not going to try this until I have better equipment, because this is an ultra rare game and I'm not going to fry this thing. And yeah, so what we're going to go ahead and do is put this back together real quick. I don't even have to do a time skip, I don't think. Alright, so as you guys can see, that should prove once and for all the difference between authentic and non-authentic Conker, at least. I've had other people ask me to take a little bit closer looks at some other cartridges, and I'm thinking at some point maybe inviting people to send me some to a P.O. box or something, just so I can examine them and check, and obviously do this like live or something. That way they know I'm not trying to scam them or something. Definitely, like, if I have enough people asking, eventually I get a P.O. box or something and have them be able to post it to me, and then I can take a closer look for them, and if there's some damages or something, maybe I can repair it, or at least attempt to. I mean, it's a labor of love. I don't like people being scammed or ripped off, or whatever kind of word you want to use for it, because to me it's dishonorable, it's disgraceful. I don't like people trying to sell stuff that's fake. At least say it's like a novelty item or something like that. Like, don't try to peddle it like it's real when it's not. I'm seeing a lot of offers on eBay for carts exactly like this one, with reproduction boxes that are done very well, the boxes at least. The carts are probably the same quality as this one, and if I had a digital scale, I would weigh both of these right now just so I could show you the difference. Like, this one is X amount of weight plus a couple years worth of wear and tear and rust and dust buildup, or whatever you want to call it, versus this one, because I can tell you this one is about 10-15% lighter than this one. Yeah, so that being said, this one's a lot heavier than this one, so that's the first indicator. Always bring a copy of a real Nintendo game with you if you're buying something from somebody. Just say, hey, can I check something out? Like, take a look at it. Bring the authentic cart. It could be a dead cart. Make sure it's like a throwaway game or something. That way, if someone tries to steal it from you, you're only at like $10. because you could potentially be out hundreds of dollars with one of these. So it's a good idea to have something like this, like say a good example. If you're looking for a copy of Conker, bring something like a dead cartridge of Ocarina of Time, because it's going to be double chipped, it's going to be heavier, and then you can actually say, okay, this one doesn't feel right. Or you could bring a sports title like this one. This one is WWF Attitude, so it's lighter, but it's still heavier than this Conker card. So they weigh certain amounts, they look certain ways, and like I said, in my How to Spot a Fake game pack, that colorization on that circuit board is the first thing to look at. They are all, and I mean all, going to be like, here's WWF, it's going to be that color. Conker, that color, they're the same color, same colored circuit board. NASCAR, same color, they are the same color. Vigilante 8, same color. I could do this with like 100 other cartridges, they're all going to be the same color. If they are not that color, it's probably a fake. So yeah, if you see that color not matching with what color I just showed you, then that's the first thing you need to worry about. The manufacturing process on that copper is a little different too, among other things. So yeah, if it's not that brownish circuit board, don't accept the price they're charging you for it. Like that's the final word. Like, the only reason I would justify owning a reproduction cart is so I can put my authentic cart in a box, like a game box, like the ones I have up here. And that's the only reason I justify buying reproduction. Like, they are okay, but they are not the quality that Nintendo games are supposed to represent. And anybody that charges you for quality that doesn't give you quality, you're worse than scum. So that is the final word I can make on that, and I'll definitely make more videos on this. I'll test other games, giving a little bit of scrutiny. That way, if I'm suspect that I was given a game, like I say, from Retro Game Treasure that isn't authentic, I can show them why I think that, because I already unboxed these. So me unboxing them and recording it is a way of protecting myself as well. And I highly recommend, if you guys get anything from eBay, Amazon, Troll and Toad, any places like that, if you can get a hold of somebody that has the authentic, have them with you, record it. I don't care how good the quality is. You don't have to upload it. You don't have to do anything. It's to protect yourself, especially when we're talking like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for a game, or a card, or a model, or anything. Like, my objective here is to educate and entertain, but more than anything, educate people so they don't get scammed out of money. The reason I say that, because my daughter right there, I want to have my hobby, but I don't want to be out so much money that she can't go to college one day. I don't want her to have any of that. Like, I don't get paid by YouTube anymore. I'm too small of a channel. I don't get donations. I don't get any of that stuff. I'm not big enough to ask anybody for that. So for me, all this comes completely out of my own pocket, and that's the idea. I don't want people like me that want to have this hobby get screwed over for no reason. Like, greed is unacceptable, and it's infuriating. So please do check your anything that you have that you think isn't authentic. Find channels like mine. Find people on Facebook that are offering these consultations. Make sure that they are on the up and up. There are people out there. There's places all around Georgia, for example. I go to all sorts of places and I'll say, hey, is, say, this comic book legit? Or, hey, is this cart legit? Like, I can't really confirm it for myself. I like to have a professional set of eyes. People working in these hobby stores, like, say, Georgia has places like Steel Collectibles. They have places like Battle and Brew, which people there are all nerds, so they'll be able to spot stuff faster than just one dude can. a place I used to go, Dr. Knows over in the Atlanta area. They sell almost exclusively comic books, graphic novels, board games, stuff like that. So, depending on what your area is, especially if there's major conventions that go on in your area, like I live in the Atlanta area, so we have AWA, Dragon Con, we have all sorts of these, we have Comic Con, we have so on and so forth. Like, I just listed 3 major conventions right there, and they all take place during the summer, as far as I recall. Other places, New York's got New York's Comic Con. They've got various, like, I'm telling you, there's no excuse to not be able to find somebody to help you. Like, there's all sorts of stuff out there that goes for tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you don't want to be that guy that got burned. You could buy a really decent house for $100,000 in the area I live in alone, and to spend that on a comic book or something that turns out to be a reprint or a fake, and someone just doctored it and weathered it to make it look like it was real, all that kind of stuff, no. So like I said, get a hold of people that know how to do airbrushing, get a hold of people that know how to Photoshop, get a hold of people that know how to video edit, get a hold of people that know anything about injection molds or 3D printing. Get a hold of anybody that you think would be useful to have in your corner when you're purchasing anything. Like, I don't care if it was $10. Make sure you have somebody that if you think anything is off, you are able to call them and say, hey, Bill, can I ask you to check something to see if it was 3D printed and filed like by an expert, or can you tell me if this is photoshopped, or anything like that. I have a small network of people. Luckily, I'm one of the more rare cases of someone that did all this stuff self-taught, so it's fine. I'm sure Skillshare has a program like that. Not sponsored by them, naturally. That'd be awesome, but make sure that you get the support you need when it comes to making these kind of purchases, because I'm just an average dude. Like I said, the YouTube adpocalypse took away all the ad revenue I had, so all the money I ever earned on YouTube went back into my channel, and that's how I did everything I've done up to this point. And I just want to make sure that no one gets burned if I can help it. Like, if I can help just one person not get burned, that's enough for me. So anyway, guys, I've rambled on long enough. That's going to do it for this video, and on a positive note, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful evening. Be sure to leave a like, a comment, subscription would be fantastic. That would help me out dramatically. And yeah, so I guess that's it. Hey, Kyle, you want to say bye-bye? No? No bye-bye? Bye-bye. Alright, well, Kylie says bye-bye too. So you guys take it easy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. That's funny. What are you doing, Kylie? Oh, I got this cart back at a Blockbuster, and that's gonna rest in peace, headphone users. I'm sorry. You got your eggs, your hash browns, all that. You get to eat. Daddy gets to do all this fantastical work. Wonderful. Stop it. Don't do it. I'll pop that hand again. No, no. You don't need a colored pencil, baby. You'll destroy the house. Ah! 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 Here, you want a stylus instead? Look. There you go. You can't do any damage with that. Damn! Okay, we good. Alright, enough of that. That's ridiculous. Man, this video is just having all sorts of outtakes.